I like that a lot. Ooh, that is a really pretty shade. Okay, we'll try it again. Nothing happened. I'm feeling cute. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today, I am going to be testing a whole bunch of new drugstore and affordable makeup. And I got this look using the products today. What do you think? Spoiler alert, I love the look. I think it came out great, but not every product was great, okay? You're gonna have to stick around to hear my thoughts on these products, but I did test out quite a lot of new things, a lot of blushes, a lot of lip products, a couple bronzers, a new eyeshadow palette. I will link everything down in the description box below, whether it is new or if it's something else that I use off camera. It's all down in the description box. And if you enjoy this video while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you enjoy makeup content, I would definitely suggest considering subscribing to my channel. Okay, I have a lot of new makeup to test out. If you saw my haul, you know that. There are a couple of things here though that I've been using for a little while that I've been really enjoying that I want to share with you as well. Like I didn't buy a new primer, I didn't buy a new concealer or anything, so I'm going to use ones that I've been using lately. So the first thing that I've really been enjoying, my famous line, I'm not a primer person. And I'm really not, but my skin has been leaning a little more on the normal side. Usually I'm very oily, so I have been wanting to go in with something a little more hydrating, especially if I have done my skincare quite a few hours before I'm putting on my makeup. And I've been using this. I've been really enjoying it. Pacifica did send me a PR package and this was in it. So this is the Pacifica Vegan Collagen Skin Solve. Prime, blur, and hydrate. It's basically just like a really nice hydrating primer. I really have been enjoying it a lot. Comes in a really nice glass bottle, and all it says is apply to clean skin, blend well in a circular motion. And I've really been enjoying it as like a not super lightweight moisturizing primer, but not overly greasy either. It's just right in the middle. I think no matter what your skin type is, you would enjoy this. Maybe if you're very oily, it might be a little much, but I've been enjoying it lately. Now I am going to do my eyes first, but I am going to put this primer on just to like let it sink in to my skin while I do my eyes. And so when I pump it out on my hand, it's kind of like this light orange color. I'm just going to probably not use all of it, but I'm just going to go ahead and smooth that around my face. Use the excess on my neck. All right, now for eyes. I went to Target recently and I was really excited to see the stand that ColourPop has at Target now. And I think they're at every Target. They even had it at my Target, and my Target doesn't have hardly anything. I got two eyeshadow palettes. I really couldn't decide. Like I was standing in the aisle staring at the display for a good 5 minutes, just looking at the eyeshadow palettes and looking at the two of these and being like, Rachel, just pick one. Just pick one. You only need one. Just pick one. And then I couldn't decide. So I got both. But they look so, so pretty. So I got fresh greens, which I'm really into greens lately, and I love this. It's monochromatic, but it's got different depths. There are some other tones in here that I feel like you could get some variety. And then we have Mauve and Up, this more mauve-y one, which looks so pretty. This one doesn't look as much of variety, but I still thought it was pretty. So I think today I want to use the fresh greens. I'm feeling the green. I'll use this another time, probably like in a YouTube short or something. I am curious. I have the Child palette. I'm going to go grab it. I want to hold them next to each other and see how similar they are. I don't feel like they're going to be similar, but I'm just going to do it anyway.
A few moments later.
They're kind of similar. So here they are next to each other. They're kind of similar. They are. Like the greens in the Child are a little more cool toned. Like they have a slight bluish minty kind of undertone to them. I don't know. Maybe I didn't need this green one. I'll swatch them out next to each other as well, just so you can see them side by side. Maybe that'll be a little more telling than just looking at them in the pan. But I think if you have the Child palette, you probably don't need this unless you want it like me. All right, well, I've already primed my eyes with the Rare Beauty eye primer, so we're gonna go right in. Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna use the shade In Season. This one that's pretty much my skin tone, but let's give it a shot. I do like the fact that these have a clear cover to them because obviously in store it's way easier to be able to look at the color story without worrying if somebody has opened it and swatched it. You know, I hate that. I hate that. So it's definitely a good idea for the drugstore. Yeah, just as I suspected, that doesn't show up at all on my skin tone. So if you're very, very, very fair, maybe that would be a nice transition shade for you. If you're very deep, it could be more of a highlighting shade. So I'm gonna take another fluffy brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Cold Pressed right here. Really pretty, like pistachio green. Picks up really nicely on the brush. Just gonna put that a little lower in the crease. Definitely a lot of fallout. It's very, very powdery, but it is showing up nicely on my eye. Probably would have even showed up better if I hadn't put that first shade down, but I like it. They also had so many other colorways of this. There had to have been at least like 9 different versions of this palette. They had really beautiful neutral ones, which I was very tempted to buy some of the neutral ones. They had like a true warm tone neutral, a true cool tone neutral, and then a true neutral palette. All 3 looked beautiful. They had a blue monochromatic palette. They had more of a brighter purple palette. They had a peach palette. I mean, really beautiful color stories. They did a good job. All right, I'm gonna go into the shade Local BB right here. Really pretty, like army green. I'm just gonna put this lower in my crease. I'm gonna go into the deepest matte shade in the palette, which is Veg Out right here. Super dark olive green. Oh, looks so pretty. And I'm just gonna put this in my very outer corner. Have you seen the ColourPop stuff in your Target? Did you pick anything up? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. It was really cool because they have all of their like permanent line products. All their brow products, their eyeliners, which are my favorite eyeliners, like their pencil eyeliners. They have their lip liners, which are my favorite as well. They have the lippy sticks. They had some complexion products as well, like their Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer, their Pretty Fresh Concealer. They had their Super Shock products as well. They had a lot. And I did pick up something else, which I will use in this video a little later on. I had 0 issues with those mattes. They built on top of each other really, really nicely. They blended out really, really nicely. I like it. And there's enough variety in those green mattes that you can see a gradient, which is nice. Now, I always use the NYX Glitter Primer, let's say 99% of the time. Maybe not always.
60% of the time, it works every time.
And I really want to use this bright lime green goddess right here, all over the lid. Really pretty. Nice. That feels really smooth, like a traditional metallic, so it's not like super chunky, not very textured, but there is still that very shiny quality to it, which is really nice. I like that a lot. Ooh, that is a really pretty shade. We're gonna stop there for right now. We'll get to the rest of the eyes as I go on, but I am gonna put on some complexion products. Now these aren't really super new products or anything like that. I have been using these for a little while, but they're things that I've been really enjoying. I'm really enjoying the e.l.f. Camo Color Corrector in the shade Peach for my under eyes. I have very dark under eyes, as you can see. And I always use a color corrector. Usually I use the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, but this one I feel like is really nice underneath concealer because it provides a really nice satin base. The Becca one is pretty emollient, so it just depends on what you're looking for. I don't love like a hydrating concealer. It just tends to crease on me too easily, so I feel like this is the perfect consistency, but I will say it is quite dark. So if you are very fair, this may be too dark for you. Even for me, I have to wear at least a medium coverage concealer over it to cover up the peach, but I think it does a really good job of color correcting. So I'm just gonna slap this on. And then this is something that I picked up from my most recent haul, but it's not a new product. It's been around for years. I've loved it for years, but I did declutter the last one I had a couple years ago, and so I picked it up again. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I have mine in the shade 128 Warm Nude, which is a perfect color for me right now. It's a little deeper than like my neck, but I like when my foundation is a little deeper. I know I'm giving 2016 where there's like a clear difference between your face and your neck, but I end up bronzing my neck. My face and my neck are really pale, so I want it to match my body, and I just want to feel like I have a little color to my skin because I am pretty fair in the wintertime. I also really used to love the dewy version of this as well. Back when my skin was definitely more normal, I didn't feel like it was overly dewy or overly hydrating. I felt like it was just slightly more hydrating than this. I don't even feel like this is very matte. I feel like it's more satin natural, which I love. Like this dries down to like a satin natural finish. And then throughout the day, my oils will peek through, but they're not like breaking up the foundation. It's not falling apart on my skin, but it's making it look really, really healthy. And it gives it good medium coverage. I think with the brush, as with most foundations, a brush is going to give you a little more coverage than with a sponge. But I really, really love this foundation. I've been enjoying it, and I've been having issues with my skin. A lot of complexion products, especially foundations, have been irritating my skin and flaring up my acne that I have on my chin. And this one does not do that. So that's a plus. So there's the foundation blended out on my skin. I've been super happy with it. I've been really enjoying it. And something else that I've been really loving a lot more than I thought I was going to, are the new Essence concealers. So this is the Keep Me Covered concealer with aloe vera. Now, it doesn't have the shade names on the actual package, which is ridiculous. It was on the sticker that you have to take off to open the component. Genius. But I remember that I got Shell, which is the lighter one, and Light Medium, which is the deeper one. And I've been mixing them and they've been working out great. I really enjoy this concealer. Now, my preference for a concealer is a matte full coverage concealer. Like, I really like Tarte Shape Tape. I find that this gives a high medium coverage. I don't think it's quite full. And I would say that it is more satin matte. Like, it's not hydrating for sure, but it's not as matte. It's not as drying looking as Tarte Shape Tape is, but it stays put all day. If I set this with a powder, it does not move. And that is the number one thing I'm looking for. I have a lot of lines and I smile and I change expression a lot, which you guys probably know. And I need something that's not gonna move. And this does not move. It's so, so nice. The shade range is terrible. And it is incredibly difficult to find a good shade. So unfortunately, I'm mixing two just because I happen to buy two. But let's be real, we shouldn't have to be doing that. So that's with the concealer on my eye, not set or anything. So you can see it does give like a medium coverage, but it smooths out and blends really easily. I've really been enjoying it. All right, so I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna set my T-zone and I'm gonna put on some brows, and I'll be right back. I have a lot of blushes and lip products to try on and a bronzer as well. So a couple of bronzers. All right, I'll be right back. Okie dokie, we have two bronzers to try out. So I have the Oma by Sharon C Flawless in Real Life bronzer in the shade On Point, and this is a cream bronzer. I did purchase this a few months ago, at least a few months ago, maybe longer now, in the lightest shade, which was the shade Shady, and it was way too light for me. It was really not showing up on my skin tone at all. So this is the second shade called On Point. It looks a little warm. Like when I swatched it out on my hand, it definitely looked pretty warm. So I don't know, we're gonna give it a shot. Let's see. The formula of this is really interesting. It's almost like a cream to powder. So I'm gonna take a little tiny contour brush. I'm gonna pick this up directly from here, and I'm just gonna start to apply this to my cheek. Yeah, see, it's very lightly pigmented. Like, you really can go ham in there and probably not go overboard, which is nice. I'm only going to apply this to my cheek area because I want to use the other bronzer that I picked up as well, like on my forehead and my neck. but that looks pretty nice. It's definitely more on the warm side, which is not my preferred undertone, but maybe for the summertime, I would like it a little bit more. But I don't think it's too warm. I absolutely love the blushes in this line. They're some of my favorite cream blushes that I have right now. They're just so easy to use. The colors that I have are really, really pretty. Okay, so this is the bronzer blended out on my cheeks. Definitely more on the warm tone side, but I would say if you have my skin tone, a little lighter, a little deeper, this will work for you. But if you have like a medium skin tone, I don't think this will work because I had to layer this up a lot to get this pigment, and I really was swirling my brush in there pretty hard. So they're definitely buildable formulas, which is nice because you're not going to go overboard too quick, most likely. So yeah, I'm going to continue to use all of these products, by the way, and I will put them in a future speed reviews video. I do have one coming up soon because I have tested a whole batch of other things that I'm ready to give my final thoughts on. But the finish of it is definitely skin-like. I wouldn't call it overly matte or chalky. I wouldn't call it overly dewy either. It's just very skin-like, really easy to blend. More of a subtle color for me. Really pretty. Then I picked up the ColourPop matte bronzer in Avila Beach. I wanted to buy this so bad when it first came out last year, but I wasn't sure what color I would be because sometimes it's hard looking online, right? I really wasn't sure. Now, the color that I picked up is the lightest color and it looks very light. Like, I don't really know what I was thinking in the store. It looks a little too light for me, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it anyway. So I have a bronzer brush here. I'm just gonna go crazy in there, pick it up on the brush. This one also looks kind of warm. And I'm gonna apply this more to my forehead area just so we can see. So for me, this is pretty light. I think I'm remembering now, the next shade up looked really dark. Like there was a big difference between the two, but I would say that this comes off on the skin even lighter than it looks in the pan because that's pretty darn light. Like I don't really see much coming up. It's kind of a bummer. Maybe I'll pick up the next shade and just give this to one of my sister-in-laws because it's pretty darn light for me right now. I'll continue to use it and play around with it a little bit more, but I would say if you're fair, this would work for you, but maybe you want to go with the next shade up if you're like my skin tone. I went blush crazy. Again, if you saw my haul video, you know, I got 4 blushes. Now, one of the blushes is not a drugstore blush, the Too Faced one, so I'm going to save this for another video because I'm going to basically entitle this one a drugstore video. Okay, I have a few to choose from. I have the Essence Baby Got Blush. This is like a blush stick, and this is in the shade Rose All Day. I will say this has a very strong scent, like watermelon gum, very strong scent. And then I have the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush, and this gives me the vibe of Milani Lumino, so like that peach with a gold reflect, and this is in the shade Pretty Peach. Doesn't have a scent to it, but it's, when I swatched it out, and you'll probably see it in the swatch, it's very sheer. It's basically just like a shimmery, sheeny topper type of situation. So maybe we'll use this as a topper. And then I have the Revolution Makeup Liquid Blush in the shade Peach Filter. So maybe let's use a little bit of all three. Should we try it? Let's try it. So I'm going to start with the liquid blush first. And I'm going to put this a little bit more to the front. This could go bad real quick. Now with a liquid blush, what I tend to do is I put it on the back of my hand first. Then I go in with a brush. I don't paint it on, personally, because I find it's a little too hard to control. I love this e.l.f. brush, which is not available anymore, so I'm not going to go on too much about it, but it's the Airbrush Stipple. So I'm going to take this Revolution liquid blush. I'm just going to put it on the back of my hand. It's very bright orange. I'm just going to take this, kind of blend it into my brush. It looks very dewy. I'm scared. Okay, we'll try it again. Nothing happened. Pick up a little more. Very dewy, greasy even. I personally have a lot of like large pores and breakouts on my cheeks here. And as soon as I put that on, it definitely emphasizes it. And it is somewhat taking up the foundation underneath. The color is really pretty. This might be nice for like a no foundation day, just like on bare skin because it is so emollient and dewy. But I feel like on the foundation, it's kind of messing with the foundation, which I don't love. But if you like a dewy blush, I mean, the color is really pretty, but it's a little shiny and kind of greasy for me. All right, now we're gonna take this blush stick. I'm gonna go from the stick onto the brush. This is more of like a rosy color. And then I'm gonna just tap it out on the back of my hand just to see what the pigmentation's like. I'm just gonna put this more towards the back of my cheek here. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. That's really easy to blend, which is nice. And actually the combo of these two blushes is really beautiful, really nice. Now I would say this one still has a little bit of a moisture, not as much of a sheen as the first one, but it's definitely not matte, it's not dry. I'd say the pigmentation is kind of in the middle. It's not overly pigmented, but it definitely doesn't take a lot to build it up. Ooh, I think that is so pretty. I can't wait to wear this alone. I also love that it comes in a tiny little component because I don't think there'll be a day where I'll ever go through a Korean blush completely. I just don't see it happening because I have so many. So this is enough product for me. The smell is pretty strong, but actually I don't smell it once it's on my skin or anything, but ooh, I like this little combo. Now, I don't have a highlighter to try out today, so I'm gonna use this kind of like a blush highlighter hybrid as a blush topper. I have a smaller but fluffy blush brush from Flower Beauty, and then I'm gonna use to apply this. So again, this is the Pure Nude Baked Blush from Essence in the shade Pretty Peach. I'm gonna place this more on the top part of my cheek. We're already pretty darn dewy looking. But it definitely has color to it because that did add color. Like if you look at this side versus this side, I think it did add color. I think it's pretty. I don't think it's obnoxiously like glittery or anything like that, but it definitely adds a lot of sheen. For me and my skin personally, with the issues that I've got, I don't think it's like my favorite look to have like a sheeny, you know what I'm saying. I have a lot of acne and it emphasizes it, but it is pretty if this is the kind of look you like. I don't think it's chunky. It was pretty easy to apply. And I'm wearing 3 different blushes right now, but you know, I'm feeling cute. I'm going to continue to use all these products and of course update you. So I have a few drugstore lip products to try on. So I have a new one from Flower Beauty. This is the Plump Up Gloss Stick. They're coming for Tarte with this little push up, push pop lip product, you know what I mean? And it's this beautiful like reddish brown. The color is Toasty. And then I have 2 products from Essence. I have the Hydra Matte Lipstick in the shade, I hate this name, Honestly, like honestly, but honestly. What? It's Hydra Matte. I think it just means a satin lipstick, but it's this really pretty brown color. And then I have the Extreme Care Hydrating Glossy Lip Balm from Essence in the shade Milky Cocoa. This looks stunning, like a cool toned brown. I'm gonna try all 3 on just for the hell of it. I'm just gonna put this right on my lips without lip liner just to try it out, the Flower Beauty one. So let's see what this looks and feels like. Oh yeah. Now I've not tried the Tarte one, so I can't really speak to the comparison. That feels really nice. Now I would definitely say this is a sheer tint because it looks a lot darker in the tube than it does on my lips, which I don't mind. I think the color is really pretty. And even without a lip liner, I think it looks pretty good because the applicator is so small, I'm able to just get it right in my lip line. It definitely has a minty tingle to it, like I feel it now. Let's give it a minute and see.
2 very boring minutes later.
Okay, so it's been on for a few minutes here. It definitely feels minty, but it doesn't feel overly tingly. It doesn't burn. It just feels a little cooling on the lips, but from like 1 to 10, like 1 being, you know, lukewarm to 10 being sticking your hand in the snow with no glove on, freezing. I would say it's at about a 4. Like I feel it, it's there, but it's not intense. So I'm gonna wipe this off and I'm going to put a lip liner on to prepare for the next 2 products. Okay, I just lined my lips with ColourPop BFF2 Lippy Pencil. We're gonna go in with the Hydra Matte Lipstick from Essence in the shade Honestly. It looks gorgeous. Let's go. Very, very nice. I way overlined my lips. We're gonna ignore that. I would definitely call this a matte lipstick. There's no slip to it at all. It wasn't hard to apply to the lips, but it's definitely matte. Right off the bat, I can feel that. So if you don't like a matte lipstick, you wouldn't like this. I hate the packaging, by the way. It looks like children's makeup to me, which I don't love, but it's a very low price point. It's fine. Very powdery already right off the bat. I love the color. I love that color. It's a brown with a little bit of a pink undertone to it. Really unique in my collection, so I like it. Let's throw this gloss on top, shall we? The Essence Extreme Care Hydrating Glossy Lip Balm. Longest names ever. Milky Cocoa is the color. And this one's definitely more cool toned. The lipstick, by the way, smells like the cream blush. Like very strong, scented, like fruity. And because it's on my lips, under my nose, I can smell it. So if you don't like that, you wouldn't like this. I don't feel like this smells. I don't really smell anything in the gloss, but let's put some on. Ooh, very pigmented. I'm just gonna put it in the middle. It's a lot lighter than I thought. Oh, that's so pretty. Really nice. So I just put this in the center of the lips just because it's a little lighter than the lipstick, but it's very pretty. Very glossy, very shiny. Not sticky at all. More balmy or more just like a regular, like nice lip gloss. Very pretty. I love it. So the last product I'm going to use are these lashes from AF94. I did talk about these in my haul. AF94 is the drugstore sister brand to About Face, and I've tried a couple of products from the brand and I really like it. So I was excited to pick these lashes up. These are in the style Lash 03. They're probably the most dramatic ones that they offer. Look super duper pretty. I'm really excited to get these on my eyes. So I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna put these on, and I'm gonna finish up my lower lash line with the palette. I'm just gonna repeat the mattes on the bottom, and of course I'll come back and just tell you what I did, and we'll wrap up this video. Okay, so I just went off camera, applied those lashes. I will say the band is kind of stiff. Like looking at them, they looked really lightweight, almost like an Ardell wispy, but they definitely had a stiffer band, which I actually don't mind sometimes when lashes have a stiffer band because I find that they keep their shape a little easier because I have very rounded eyes. But I will say I am kind of fearful that the inner corners are gonna pop because they're stiff, but they're also not really easily flexible to create a curve. So I'm gonna obviously wear them for the rest of the day. It's pretty early in the day, but like on, they look really, really pretty. I have no complaints with that. So I will have to keep you updated and put all of these into speed reviews in the future. And I just put in some green liner in my waterline. I'm gonna put everything down in the description box, even the things that I do off camera. I'll put those products down in the description box. And then on my lower lash line, I just literally repeated all the same matte shades I did on top on the bottom. And then in my inner corner, I put the shade Farmer's Market, this like minty green. In my inner corner, it worked out great. Okay, so that is it for this testing new makeup video. Let me just give you a little recap, like top products, bottom products. So top products, the eyeshadow palette. You guys know I'm a palette girl, you know. And if you don't know, hi, my name is Rachel and I'm addicted to eyeshadow palettes. I love the color story of this. It's a good monochromatic green palette because you do get variety and you do get different depths of mattes. And then all the shimmers are also very different. So you can get a different look with the shimmers. I wish this shade was not this color. I would have liked if it was like a white, like a matte white or a matte like very, very, very light green or something like that would have been great. Otherwise, the quality of these shadows is really nice. I am going to continue to use this and I will put it in a palette ranking video in the future. And I will use the other one that I got as well. So this is a top pick from the video. Another thing that's a top pick, although I've been using it, is this Pacifica primer, I guess, the Skin Solve. Really enjoying how my makeup goes over it. I think it's so nice. I also really like this cream blush stick from Essence, the Baby Got Blush in Rosé All Day. I, of course, have to use it on its own to really get the full effect, but I could tell applying it was very easy, just the right amount of pigmentation, a really pretty finish, a really pretty color. So I will continue to use that. And then finally, I think another pick for me for top products was this gloss. I think it looks so pretty, like away from this big light in front of the natural light. It just looked really shiny, made my lips look really full. It's very comfortable. It's not sticky. I like it. For products in the bottom, I mean, I don't really feel like anything was really bad. I would say the worst thing probably was this lipstick just because of the scent. Like I can taste the perfumey, fruity scent in the back of my throat and it's kind of gross. I think the lipstick itself looked really pretty on my lips, but the scent does kind of bother me. And then only just because of the shade, this ColourPop Avila Beach bronzer. I don't think this is a good shade match for me. I think it's too light. And this is the lightest I'm gonna be. You know, I'm not getting any lighter. I'm only gonna probably get more tan. I live in Florida, so just being outside naturally is gonna get me more tan. I would say if you're fair, you would like this. But I will try the next shade up because I am interested in having this in my collection. I'm just gonna probably pass this on to someone else. Everything else was pretty much in like the okay category. I, of course, have to keep testing these things more to get my final thoughts, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments, have you tried any of these products? Have you been wanting to try any of these products? Let me know your thoughts. I love hearing from you. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, both beauty and fashion videos, and I would love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.